Hello, everyone, and welcome. So, we're diving into Chapter 4, Psychological Disorders. I know, it can sound a bit heavy, a little complicated. But don't you worry, we're going to break it all down, make it super simple, and get you absolutely ready for your exams.
Hello, mere pyare bachon. Welcome back. It's so good to see you all here. Now, I know this chapter can feel a little tough, but trust me, by the end of this session, you're going to feel so much more confident. Let's make it easy together.
Oh my goodness, does this look familiar? That little knot in your stomach, especially with board exams just around the corner? That feeling of nervousness? It's totally normal. But that's exactly where our story begins today. Okay, so here's our game plan for today. First, we'll figure out the difference between normal and abnormal. Then, I'll give you a super easy checklist, the 4 Ds. We'll touch on some big topics like anxiety, depression, OCD, and schizophrenia. And finally, we'll talk about why these things happen. And the most important part, how to get help. Simple, right? Let's go. All right, first up, welcome. Normal versus abnormal. This is the big question, isn't it? I mean, where exactly do we draw the line between just having a bad day and something more serious? Look, every single one of us feels nervous sometimes, and we all feel sad sometimes. That's just part of being human. But the real question is, when does that normal feeling of sadness or nervousness cross a line and become what we call a disorder?
So how do the experts decide? Well, lucky for us, psychologists have a really simple checklist to help them out. And to make it super easy for you to remember, we'll just call it the 4 Ds. It's a great little tool for your exams.
Okay, let's get into the 4 Ds. Now pay close attention here, Bachon, because this is a really important concept, and it's your simple checklist to understand this whole chapter.
The first D stands for deviance. Now that's just a fancy word for behavior that is very, very different from what most people in society would do. It's something that's extreme or really unusual.
Our second D is distress. This one is super important. It means that the behavior is not just different, it's actually causing the person a lot of pain and suffering. It's deeply unpleasant and upsetting to them.
The third D is dysfunction. This means the behavior is actually getting in the way of living a normal life. It stops them from being able to go to school, or do their homework, or even just hang out with their friends. It messes up their daily routine.
And our last D is danger. This one's pretty clear, right? It means the behavior could be harmful, either to the person themselves or to the people around them. So remember, it's usually a mix of these 4 Ds that points towards a disorder. Okay, now that we have our checklist, let's talk about 2 of the most common types of disorders, anxiety and depression. Let's think of them this way. Anxiety is like a non-stop alarm bell, and depression is like a heavy, dark cloud.
So on one hand, you have anxiety. Imagine an alarm bell in your brain that just will not turn off. You feel this constant fear, your heart beats really fast, you might be sweating, and you're always worried about the future. Now, depression is different. It's like a heavy, dark cloud is following you around no matter where you go. You feel this deep, deep sadness, and you just lose interest in all the things you used to enjoy.
Okay. Attention, everyone. Board exam question alert. This is a classic 2-mark question that comes up a lot. So, what is a phobia, and can you give one example? Think about it.
And here is your perfect model answer. A phobia is an irrational fear of a specific object or situation. That word, irrational, is the key to getting full marks. An example could be social phobia, which is an intense fear of dealing with people, or a specific phobia, like a fear of spiders. Easy peasy. All right, moving on, let's talk about 2 more important disorders, OCD and schizophrenia. We can think of them as having sticky thoughts and experiencing a break from reality. So OCD is really a 2-part thing. First, you have obsessions. These are like unwanted, sticky thoughts that just get stuck in your head and cause a lot of anxiety, like constantly thinking, my hands are dirty. Then, to deal with that anxiety come the compulsions. These are actions you feel you absolutely must do over and over again, like washing your hands 20 times to make the sticky thought go away. Now, schizophrenia. This is a very serious disorder where a person's thoughts, their perceptions, and their emotions can kind of break away from reality. It really changes how they experience the world. 2 key symptoms here are often confused, so let's clear it up. A hallucination is when you sense something that isn't really there, like hearing voices when no one is talking. It's about your senses. A delusion, on the other hand, is a strong, false belief that you hold on to, no matter what evidence you're shown, like truly believing that you are the king of India.
So, one is about sensing, the other is about believing.
So now you're probably wondering, why does this happen? And what can we do to help? This is the most important part of our whole discussion, so let's get into it. Well, think of it like a recipe with 3 main ingredients. First, you have biological factors, like your genes or the chemistry in your brain. Second, you add in psychological factors, like a lot of stress or certain ways of thinking. And third, you have social and cultural factors, like your environment or whether you have friends to support you. A disorder usually happens because of a mix of all 3 of these ingredients.
But you know what the biggest problem is? It's the stigma. People feel ashamed, they feel embarrassed, and they're scared to ask for help. But please listen to me, bachcho. A psychological disorder is an illness, just like having a fever or a broken arm. There is absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. And I want you to always remember this. Your mind is just like your body. It works so hard for you every day, and sometimes it can feel unwell too. And you know what? Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It is the bravest, strongest first step you can ever take.
And with that, we're at the end. All the very best for your exams, my dear bachcho. I just know you are all going to do wonderfully. Remember everything we talked about. Stay calm and please don't take too much tension. You've got this.